Hey guys, it's your best boxing friends. I'm Kelsey. Of course, this is Rachel. Rachel, you're in, is this a pajama shirt?
Nobody knows that. They can only see this. Actually, this is not a pajama shirt. I just happened to wear it to bed.
Okay, so it's somewhat of a pajama shirt. I'm wearing my workout clothes and it's at least 2 sizes too big.
We're both in light blue.
We're on our light blue A game today. It's a special day here at Real Talk.
It's not my color.
It's not really my color either. I don't even know where I'm in there.
The last time I wore this shirt on the show, I was like, oh, don't wear that shirt on the show. But today I'm really tired and I'm a little bit sick.
A huge weekend in boxing, and of course we watched UFC 248. What? Oops. And here Adam Kownacki was, right? Is that how you say his name? I feel like I learned how to say his name once, but I already forgot. And of course, since he lost to Robert Helenius, I'm not sure I ever really have to learn how to say it. You know what I mean?
Well, what'd you think about that fight? So here's what we have in the heavyweight division. We have like a top tier. So we have Wilder, we have Fury, we have Joshua. Andy Ruiz was there momentarily. We have like this top tier, and then I feel like we have another tier of, you know, like we have some depth on the bench that is the heavyweight, and I really like that in the division.
Definitely depth. I think that like definitely the top is Tyson Fury and Anthony Joshua, and I think that there's a steep drop off from there, depending on what Wilder can do in the third fight. But I think we'll see the same thing in the third fight against
But what
Fury.
He's done prior to that, I think still puts him.
Yeah, and he's
is
he 33, 34 now? This is what I was saying about him earlier. I don't want to get off on the Wilder tangent. Right. But yeah, you're right. Let's just say Wilder's in that group, for lack of a better argument. Okay, you're right. Wilder's in that group.
Since it's not the purpose of this video.
These guys are way above the other level, but there's a lot of depth there. Now.
So I found it interesting to see this fight. Not only the fight, I saw 3 fights, all heavyweights.
Frank Sanchez, Efe Ajagba.
Yeah, guys trying to make it, like trying to learn and grow in the sport so that they can be at the top of the heavyweight division one day. And it's really, and these are guys like, when I look at Efe, right, like he looks like he's
like
strong.
a bazillion dollars.
Like, I'm telling you guys, I bring this up more than once because when I first became a boxing fan, like,
nobody looked like this. They looked like
everybody. Like, the heavyweight division was
Adam.
Full of more, like, out of shape people. That's not the case. And you can be maybe what appears to the naked eye, you know, out of shape, but still be good, like a good boxer. It is not necessary that you look like, you know, Wilder or Joshua or Efe, like, in order to be a good boxer. So people were like intrigued by Adam Kownacki. That's how we're going to say his name, right?
I think it's
Kownacki.
Something. It's Polish, and
Polish.
We don't know anything about Polish.
Yeah.
I'll be honest.
So he fought Helenius.
Yeah, Robert Helenius, who's I get confused because he's a Swiss Finn. Are those different? I don't know. Anyway, I remember Robert Helenius because 10 years ago when he was coming up, he was thought of a guy that maybe could challenge one of the Klitschko's. And he never really panned out that way because when he suffered an injury, he had some time out due to a contractual dispute. But then, anyway, once he got to a certain level, he usually lost to the guys that anyone close to the world level he would lose to. But he's 36 or 37 years old. He wasn't in this fight to win it, right? The promoters are promoting their guy, Kownacki, and they want to see this guy get a title shot. And then lo and behold, he comes in there and wins a fight in pretty devastating fashion, fourth round knockout. So congrats to him. What an amazing story for him. He's going to get bigger fights now. Yeah, he's going to stay in the sport. And now, so it's an interesting thing. I thought that, basically I think that the heavyweight division for the PBC is getting kind of iffy right now, right? Because you just lost your heavyweight champion in Deontay Wilder, who doesn't look like he's going to get that title back. You had this guy, Adam Kownacki, who you really like. He just got stopped in the 4th round by a guy you were sure he was going to win. And then the rest of your guys that you feel good about, as probably if you're in the PBC, if you're among that group, Efe Ajagba, Frank Sanchez, those type guys, they're not going to be ready for at least a year or two. So there's going to be that gap there. We don't have time to talk about it, but my favorite heavyweight in boxing coming up is Efe Ajagba. He looks like $1,000 bazillion, right? I love this guy. Love him more. They live like 10 miles from my house. We should just go camp out on his lawn for Real Talk one day. You know? I heard he rides his bicycle to where he works out at. Like he's the humble heavyweight. Can you imagine? He's like 6'7". He's on
Well, let me ask you this. Helenius, do you see a future for him? You said that he's been around for a while.
Yeah,
Did this win come too late for him?
No, it's never too late. What it did is it gives him reasonable credibility as an opponent for another big fight on TV, or even a rematch against Kownacki that gets him money. That win will net more opportunities for him to continue his career, and maybe he can sneak around and get a title shot at one of the 4 belts, and that's awesome. He's a good fighter. Like I mean, he's a good fighter, especially if you're judging by what Rachel was talking about when you first started watching heavyweight boxing. He was one of the people because you thought this guy looks a lot better than these other guys. Well, in today's heavyweight landscape, he doesn't really look like Efe Ajagba or even Frank Sanchez, right? He doesn't look to have that skill. But he's still a really hard puncher. He's really tall. He's big. He's got a good reach.
Yeah.
And he's got a lot of experience that those younger guys especially aren't going to have.
Let me ask you this. What about his pants?
Oh.
If you saw the fight, his shorts were like so long, partly he's so tall, that like I'm pretty sure they would just be pants on me, or they might come all the way up to my neck on me. It was so ridiculous. Yeah. But like in a good way. I say ridiculous with like the most amount of love I could say. Yeah. I loved how long his shorts were. I don't know where that comes from.
Between him, the Nordic Nightmare shorts, Nordic, so whatever country that is, that's awesome. And then also, this is not boxing, but in UFC, I saw Paulo Costa from Brazil. He was in the audience, and like his like.
Oh yeah!
Did you see that guy? You're like, oh my gosh, guy, this is amazing to me. What you're wearing.
Because I cut to him, and I was immediately like intrigued, like, oh,
you're like, who's this guy?
Who's that interesting character? And then later on, I walked by. I think I must have left the room, and he was on camera, like all upset. I keep seeing
pictures of him, and I'm like, this guy, and he's like gigantic.
Well, his face is like chiseled, and like he's like a dark brunette, like also tan, but wearing these bright colors. Like,
the fight sports world is an amazing place full of amazing people, and we're just happy to be part of it.
And we're happy whenever you like, comment, and subscribe. So please remember to do that. Thanks.
Happy Light Blue Day.
Okay.
Is it not Light Blue Day? Well, what are we doing?